All right, Stephen, thank you so much for joining me today. Um, I know that you've got a lot going on as the father of three kids, the husband of a wife who's also a realtor along with you. You've been a licensed realtor for about 7 years. You do a lot of transactional funding as well, gator lending, like double closes, EMD, and all that. And then also you're involved with infinite banking, which is kind of what I would like to focus on today.
Right.
So
Yeah,
thank you for taking the time to be with me today.
absolutely. Thanks for inviting me.
Okay, let's just get right into it. So how did you get involved with infinite banking? How did you first learn about it?
So I was actually on a drive to Pennsylvania, and it's about 2 o'clock in the morning, and just trying to keep myself awake. I tend to listen to a lot of podcasts and interviews, and I actually saw an interview with Chris Noggle interviewing Pace Morby,
Mm.
and he was talking about infinite banking, and that's how I first heard about infinite banking and first heard about Pace. So that's when it was about 2 years ago, 3 years ago now.
Okay, so based on that interview, what was your understanding of what infinite banking was?
So with that is basically just shifting one thing, and that's where you put your money first. And you didn't have to make more money to get ahead. You could use whatever you're making. You can make that propel you to save more and to pay less in interest to other creditors and become debt free a lot faster. That was a
Yeah.
big appeal for me.
Yes, and when I hear that too, like that gets me really excited because I'm already like, how can this happen? So
Mhm.
after you heard about or after you listened to that interview, how long did it take you before you decided to start working with Brent Kessler and the Money Multiplier team?
So once I got back from my trip, it was probably about 2 weeks later, I signed up for a policy and I got that going. I wanted to go through it myself, see how it worked for me in particular. And then after that, I got on a call with Brent directly and I was like, hey, listen, I had my life insurance license before in 2003. And I figured it shouldn't be that hard for me to get it again ASAP. So, what is it that I need to do to get started with you and getting more people involved in these policies? And he told me, just get your license, give me a call back. So I did that. It took me about a month and I was on board right away.
So is that license because you said you had it once prior, but I guess you weren't
Mhm.
doing anything with it. So you just had to renew it. And then is it a yearly renewal thing or what is that like?
So I had it back in 2003. I was like 2 years out of high school and it was just something that I wanted to do and find out about. And it didn't really build up that much traction because honestly, they weren't big on whole life policies.
Gotcha.
And most insurance companies aren't because they don't really make that much money with it. And when they do draft them up, they have it very low cash value, which gives them a big commission, but it doesn't really work well with infinite banking concepts.
Yeah, that's what I found with mine. Because when I heard about this concept and I started reviewing mine, I had it for almost 10 years and the cash value was like $26,000 and that was it. I was like, really over that long? So that kind of surprised me too. So that was another
Yeah.
reason why I got really excited about this shift for me as well.
Mhm.
What do you think has been like one of the biggest roadblocks or the hardest part about you getting additional people signed up for infinite banking?
So for me, I think the hardest part I found in getting people set up is really just explaining the benefits and how it applies to them specifically. Because there's people in all different areas in their life. Some of them are just working a W-2 and they're just trying to get out of that rat race and they can't save their way to wealth, right? But with this, it's kind of that shift and they technically can. There's other real estate investors that I know and that I've worked with in the past and that I've networked that they can really benefit from this because they're already investing in properties and flips and buy and holds, and this could just accelerate their policy. And also there's private money lenders. So people that are doing syndication deals, private money lending for single family homes, things like that. These policies can really jumpstart their wealth building tremendously. So with that being said, over time, I've created a couple of presentations that are like case studies specific to real life examples for those subset of people. So for example, somebody that's working at a W-2, I have a case study with, a chiropractor that basically paid off all his debt within 6.5 years, as opposed to letting it ride out for the full 19 years. And I show them how they can do that and what the benefit is over time. And then I have some other case studies for real estate investors and how they can pull from their policy, do a flip, get the money out, pay their policy back, and then have all that extra income ready to go for the next flip and just keep the cycle going over and over again.
Yeah, and that's what I really liked about it when I heard more about it as well, is that there are lots of different options. I mean, it ranges from just getting out of personal debt, like you said. And that was one of the things for me too, because I was already snowballing my debt. So I was already overpaying on my debts that had higher interest rates. And I've been doing that for years, but I love the fact that this is like I'm paying myself. So if if I'm paying interest to somebody anyway, I might as well pay it myself. If I have this extra money, rather than sending it to pay off those debts, I might as well put it towards this infinite banking system, and it'll be way quicker than even me just snowballing my debt. So, and then in addition to that too, like you said, there's tons of different options with what you can do within real estate investing, which is very, very exciting for me.
Yeah, definitely.
So what is one thing that you need right now to continue to grow your business of people that you show infinite banking to?
So really just like every other business, right? Leads are your lifeline. So I continue to always learn more and more in this industry and how you can utilize these policies effectively. So just having a steady flow of leads to share this info with as many people as possible is really the main thing that I need to continue to grow.
Okay. So hopefully this will help get the word out that you're available to help people if they want to look into this. If you had like a elevator pitch, like quick little blurb on the value that a policy like this brings to people, what would that be?
So I have a couple, just really depends on the person that I'm talking to, right? So essentially, I just say like I help people financially have their cake and eat it too. So imagine a financial strategy that not only helps you to save money, but also lets you earn uninterrupted compound interest, even as you borrow against it to pay off debts or make investments. Is that something that you'd be interested to hear about?
I love that.
That usually gets the ball rolling.
Yeah, I love that. It was very interesting to me too, because I was a little bit worried when I first heard about this, transferring my current whole life policy into this one. I was like, well, how does it take forever to build up a death benefit? That was one thing that my husband asked too, like, that's kind of a risk, but I was happy to hear that was not an issue either.
Right.
So it really is like having your cake and eating it too.
Yep.
Yeah, I love it. Okay. Well, if somebody's interested in learning more about their specific situation and how infinite banking can work for them, how do they find you? How do they get started?
So I'm on Facebook, stephen.alonso, and on IG it's at official Stephen Alonso.
Okay.
And I have a dot.cards, so all my contact information is on there. I'll leave you with the link, and it has my website, phone number, emails, everything you could think of. You can reach me there.
Okay. Well, great. I will put all of that information in the description of the video as well. And I really appreciate you taking the time with me today. And I look forward to seeing how this infinite banking works out for me in the years to come.
Oh yeah, definitely. Love to hop back on again.
Thanks, Stephen. I'll definitely have you back, and we'll focus on like transactional lending, and then maybe what you're doing as a realtor, and then maybe even what we're doing as a real estate investor. So I'll have you on 3 or 4 times. I love it.
Awesome. Let's
Thanks,
do it.
Stephen.